Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a beautiful, drama-filled day to dive into the absolute madness heading straight for Port Charles. We have exclusive, jaw-dropping spoilers that will leave you completely speechless. The landscape of our favorite daytime drama is about to be violently ripped apart. Buckle up, because the shockwaves are going to be felt for years to come. The monumental 16,000th episode of General Hospital airs on July 13, and it is about to deliver the most cataclysmic shocker in the history of the show. Jason is officially returning to Port Charles as a free man, but the legendary enforcer you remember is dead and gone. The man stepping off that plane is completely unrecognizable. After months of brutal captivity at a clandestine WSB black site in Jakarta, Jason has been fundamentally and permanently altered. The cold-blooded killer, the ruthless mob enforcer, the man known as Stone Cold, has been entirely erased by the agonizing trauma of his imprisonment. Jason is coming back to Port Charles with a desperate, burning desire for absolute peace, and this shocking transformation is about to detonate a nuclear bomb right in the center of the Corinthos family. For decades, Jason was the lethal weapon that kept the Corinthos organization standing. He was the shield, the sword, and the ultimate executioner. But the horrors of the Jakarta black site have completely rewired his brain. Jason took the fall for Rocco Falconeri, sacrificing his own freedom to save a young boy from the darkness, and that sacrifice changed his soul. He has seen the endless cycle of bloodshed, the collateral damage, and the sheer futility of violence. He returns to Port Charles absolutely refusing to ever pull a trigger for the mob again. The trademark black leather jacket might remain, but the dead, emotionless eyes have been replaced by the weary gaze of a man who just wants to heal. He is officially walking away from the violence, but in Port Charles, walking away is never that simple. Right now, Sonny Corinthos is fighting a desperate, blood-soaked war for his very survival. The criminal underworld is completely spiraling out of control as the ruthless Jen Sidwell tears through Sonny's territory. Sidwell has already taken ADA, Justine Turner, hostage, violently confronted Lucas Jones at gunpoint, and proven that he will stop at nothing to annihilate the Corinthos empire. Sonny is cornered, bleeding, and scrambling to hold his fragile territory together. He has been counting the seconds until Jason's return, fully expecting his greatest weapon to walk through the door, load a weapon, and eliminate the Sidwell threat once and for all. Sonny expects a bloodbath. He expects his loyal soldier to fall right back into line and restore order to the chaotic streets of Port Charles. The reunion between the legendary mob boss and his former enforcer is going to be the most explosive, heartbreaking scene of the summer. Picture the intense, suffocating tension as Jason walks into Sonny's office. Sonny throws his arms open, ready to welcome his brother back to the fold, ready to hand him the dossier on Jen Sidwell and unleash the hounds. But Jason does not reach for the gun. Jason does not nod in silent obedience. Instead, Jason looks the legendary mob boss dead in the eye and delivers a devastating, earth-shattering refusal. Jason explicitly tells Sonny that he is done. He refuses to be a hitman. He refuses to be a pawn in the mob wars. He refuses to shed another drop of blood for the Corinthos cartel. Jason is officially out of the game, and the fallout is going to be absolutely catastrophic. Sonny Corinthos is a man built on absolute loyalty, and Jason's shocking refusal hits him like a fatal bullet to the chest. Sonny feels deeply, profoundly betrayed. In Sonny's eyes, he is fighting for his life, fighting to protect their family, and the one man he trusted above all others has just turned his back and walked away. The screaming match that erupts between these two titans will echo through the halls of Port Charles history. Sonny accuses Jason of cowardice, of abandoning his family in their darkest, most dangerous hour. Jason stands firm, refusing to be baited into the violence that cost him years of his life. This is not a temporary disagreement. This is a fundamental, ideological severing of ties. An unbridgeable gap instantly forms between the two men, shattering the greatest alliance the soap opera world has ever known. With Jason officially refusing to fight, Sonny is left completely vulnerable to Jen Sidwell's relentless, lethal attacks. Desperation breeds unholy alliances, and Sonny is about to make the most dangerous, unthinkable pivot of his entire criminal career. If he cannot rely on the brute force of Jason, he must rely on the ruthless, venomous strategy of a snake. Enter Rick Lansing. Yes, you heard that right. Sonny is forced to swallow his immense pride and seek a highly toxic, incredibly risky alliance with his estranged half-brother. Rick is currently back in town, sharpening his fangs by representing Isaiah Gannon in a massive civil suit against Curtis Ashford, but Sonny needs Rick's brilliant, devious legal and strategic mind to outmaneuver Sidwell. The alliance between Sonny and Rick is a ticking time bomb, waiting to obliterate everyone in its blast radius. These two brothers have a deeply poisoned history filled with betrayal, kidnapping, and endless treachery. But Sonny has no other choice. With his enforcer gone pacifist, Sonny needs a monster in a tailored suit. Rick will undoubtedly use this newfound power to manipulate Sonny's empire from the inside. The devil's bargain is struck, and the Corinthos organization is about to take a terrifying, dark turn into corporate and legal warfare. But while Sonny navigates this treacherous new partnership, an even more heartbreaking tragedy is unfolding directly in Jason's own home. Danny has been living on a razor's edge. His mother, Sam, is dead and gone, leaving a gaping, agonizing hole in his heart. His father was locked away in a hellish WSB prison. Danny has been boiling with unchecked rage, desperately trying to protect his family, and violently lashing out at the world. He just saved Charlotte Cassadine from a terrifying WSB kidnapping attempt by viciously striking an agent with a paperweight. Danny is completely radicalized. He has been begging Sonny to let him join the mob so he can launch a brutal, vengeful war against Ross Cullum and the entire WSB. Danny has been idolizing the myth of Stone Cold. He expects his father to return from Jakarta as a vengeful Terminator, ready to burn the WSB to the ground and teach them a lethal lesson for what they did to their family. The highly anticipated father-son reunion is going to be a devastating, emotionally shattering train wreck. Danny rushes to Jason, expecting to find a warrior ready for battle. Instead, he finds a gentle, broken man preaching the gospel of peace. Jason looks at his furious, grieving son and tells him to let the anger go. Jason pleads with Danny to walk away from the violence, to focus on living a good, clean life, and to completely abandon his dangerous vendetta against the WSB. Jason is trying to save his son's soul, trying to prevent Danny from walking the same blood-soaked path that destroyed his own life. But to a grieving, angry teenager who just lost years with his father, Jason's newfound pacifism looks exactly like weakness. Danny's reaction is going to be absolutely explosive. The bitter, agonizing family conflict that erupts will tear your heart into pieces. Danny furiously screams at Jason, rejecting his father's gentle advice with pure, unadulterated venom. Danny feels completely abandoned all over again. He looks at the legendary Jason and sees a coward who is too afraid to fight for his own family. Danny throws Jason's dark history right back in his face, demanding to know why Jason was willing to kill for Sonny for decades, but refuses to fight for his own flesh and blood now. The tears, the screaming, the sheer heartbreak of this confrontation will leave viewers completely breathless. Jason's desperate attempt to shield his son from the mob is about to completely backfire in the most tragic way imaginable. Furious, betrayed, and completely disgusted by his father's refusal to fight, Danny makes a catastrophic, life-altering decision. If Jason will not be the enforcer, then Danny will take his place. Danny completely rebels against Jason's wishes and runs straight into the waiting arms of Sonny Corinthos. Danny officially demands to join the criminal underworld, eager to pick up the gun that his father just put down. He wants absolute revenge against the WSB, and he is willing to sell his soul to the mob to get it. The tragic irony is absolutely suffocating. Jason sacrificed everything in Jakarta to break the cycle of violence, only to watch his own son willingly dive headfirst into the exact same bloody abyss. The stakes have never been higher, and the danger is closing in from every single direction. Jen Sidwell is preparing for a massive, lethal strike against the Corinthos organization. Ross Cullum and the corrupt WSB agents are still actively hunting down loose ends in Port Charles. Sonny is relying on the treacherous Rick Lansing to keep him out of prison and in power. And right in the middle of this chaotic, terrifying war zone is a furious, reckless Danny, completely determined to prove that he is more dangerous than his father ever was. Jason came home to find peace, but his shocking transformation has only ignited a massive, uncontrollable inferno that threatens to burn the entire city to the ground. Will Jason be able to maintain his vow of peace while his son is actively hunted by international spies and rival mobsters? When the bullets start flying, and Danny's life is directly in the crosshairs of Jen Sidwell's assassins, will the pacifist father be forced to resurrect the cold-blooded killer buried deep inside him? Can Jason truly walk away from the violence, or is he destined to pick up a weapon one last time to save his son from the deadly consequences of the mob? The countdown to the ultimate, blood-soaked showdown has officially begun. Drop your wildest predictions in the comments below, hit that subscribe button for more explosive General Hospital updates, and brace yourselves, because Port Charles is about to explode.